Are you dead ass about to do surgery right now?
Yeah, I'm about to do it. What's the problem?
You're not licensed.
Yeah, but...
Well, we opened a can of worms on this one, didn't we? Yeah, it was bound to happen. After 2 years of talking about this subject, still getting bookings. She's all over the place. So many people are defending her. Still, there are people defending her, but I'm glad now the psychology community, the therapist community has gotten together now and they're letting her have it. Oh, guns are blazing right now. And these are the women that really should be getting the attention to talk about relationships and all these things that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant talks about on a regular basis. But unfortunately, the way things are set up,
I no longer practice under a license.
I just had a conversation with somebody on Threads who posted this. Cheyenne Bryant never referred to herself as a therapist. So I then posted the receipts of her actually presenting herself as a therapist. This is something that is posted on her highlights right now, where she posted an article written by someone at NBC where they referred to her as a marriage and family therapist.
right?
This is posted on her page. When I showed this to the woman on Threads, her response was this, essentially saying that that's an article saying that she was a therapist. That's not her saying that she's a therapist. If she reposted an article that was written by her calling her a therapist, that is her intentionally spreading misinformation.
Pretty much.
And when it comes to these small publications, everyone knows that you can write in or pay to have an article written about you. And even if that wasn't the case with this particular article, they did not just claim that she was a marriage and family therapist out of nowhere. They got that information from her. I also mentioned the fact that there is a video out there where, while telling a story of a past client, she said these words.
It's so bad. It was like my first year of being a therapist.
The girl was still going back and forth with me, debating on whether a license is needed to practice.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the comments were having this exact same argument with me. They were trying to still make excuses for Dr. Cheyenne Bryant calling herself a therapist, bringing up things that we've already covered. I'm like, if you don't go back in the archives and look at what we actually said about this, you're like, well, if she has a master's degree, she could technically do. And I'm like, does she have a master's degree? We've been asking you that whole time. Nobody's been able to produce one. In fact, it's been rumored that she never finished that program. Some people are arguing now, oh, you can get a doctorate without a master's degree. Yeah, probably not in this field. They have accelerated programs where you can get a doctorate and a master's at the same time. But to skip that process entirely seems a little far-fetched, is what I'm saying. But you see, she's a social worker here.
This in the mental health field. Just don't understand why so many people think that this is okay. If there was a person pretending to be a medical doctor, doing surgeries, seeing patients,
Dr.
treating
Love,
patients,
remember?
but did not have a license or the degree required to be a medical doctor, I feel like people will understand a little bit more.
Right.
There is no way that anyone would allow a surgeon to perform surgery on them or anybody they love if the surgeon said that they're not licensed and licensing is not important. And let's just
Right.
call a thing a thing. The only reason why y'all are defending her, the only reason why y'all are arguing back and forth online with actual
she looks a
professional
certain way.
therapists, with people who have earned not only the degrees, but the license to practice therapy, is because of how she look.
Mm-hmm.
I get that y'all like her. I get that she is pretty. I get that the body is tea. But we have to be so for real. Nobody should be misrepresenting themselves as a therapist. Nobody should be calling themselves a doctor in a professional setting if their doctorate is an honorary degree. Nobody should be seeing clients or...
Because that is the actual ceremony that we've seen. There's been some people that pulled the clip, and I had seen this long time ago, but I realized what it was. She actually has a ceremony of her receiving her doctorate, but it is an honorary doctorate. And it's very clear. So it almost throws people off the scent. They're like, look, she got a doctorate. Look. No, she got an honorary doctorate, if that. And I think that was an end around to the fact that she wasn't completing an actual doctorate. After this, I'm going to show you something interesting about some of you all that say she has a lot of similarities with Dr. Dre. Oh, it gets deep.
Is an honorary degree. Nobody should be seeing clients or having sessions if they are not licensed or have the education to do so. I don't even know why this is up for debate. Y'all tripping.
Are you dead ass about to do surgery right now?
Yeah, I'm about to do it. What's the problem?
You're not licensed.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. See, let me educate you on something really quick.
Oh,
okay.
not this again.
When you are a doctor and you need to perform heart surgery, you don't even really need the license to do it because the license restricts you. Like, then you gotta follow the board. Then you gotta know how to use a knife and
It's called the scalpel.
It's called the scalpel? Sorry. You gotta learn how to use a scalpel. It's just like all of those little details and things like that is really restricting on my practice.
It's in the
And
way.
I tell my patients, the ones that are still alive, that when it comes to this stuff, like, you gotta just find a way to do it that suits you best. It is just open heart surgery. It is not a big deal. There's a lot of people out here that's doing open heart surgery, and yeah, they're registered, but it's just for insurance. These insurance companies just want to take your money. I'm just charging out of pocket.
Right.
And charging out of pocket at the end of the day, that's what you can do when you're not licensed. Hello?
You popping.
Hello, Dr. Martin here, and I want to add some perspective to this conversation about licensure of mental health professionals, because I think we're losing nuance on multiple sides. So a bit of a background about me. I have a bachelor's and a master's in psychology, and then another master's and a PhD in medical and clinical psychology. In addition to that, I completed an APA and accredited internship and a postdoc at Johns Hopkins University. And each of those required minimum of 2,000 hours of supervised hours. That means there were years of me being watched and corrected and challenged and refined before I could even see a patient independently. And I'm saying this because I think the actual texture of the training matters to this conversation. Because there's a few things I want to name. One, I see a lot of this messaging about licensed mental health professionals being the police. And I really want to state that framing flattens a complicated reality. I work every single day to interrogate whose frameworks I'm using, whose distress gets pathologized, what pathology looks like or doesn't look like, and who gets to define healing. That work is very real, and it's happening inside the field, not just outside of it, and I do it every single day. Also, a license doesn't guarantee safety. Licensed providers can and do cause harm, and not having a license doesn't mean that a coach or a peer supporter can't help someone, because many people do. Both of those things are true. What I care most about is informed consent. For example, if there are 3 options available to you and someone tells you about 2, your choice between those 2 is not fully informed. People deserve to know the full landscape. Licensed therapy, coaching, peer support, community-based healing, medication, more. They include you have to include the real differences between them, no matter what. And here's where I won't soften my position. I am not going to downplay what years of training actually produces. Therapy is not advice. It's not folk wisdom and like a little dress or something. It's science, and clinical work draws on it. Seeing hundreds of patients across presentations under supervision over years build something that you can't be shortcut. For me, you're not getting tangential information, okay? You're getting someone who has worked with a depth and a breadth of cases and been held accountable for that work. And therapy is not just talking. I hear all this talk about like, oh, it's just 1 hour work. As a doctor, my work with patients and families involves case conceptualization. It involves using my tools as a clinician, a researcher, professor to understand what led someone to where they are and what happened in their life long before this moment, what's happening right now, and how those pieces connect to show the patterns that are showing up today. That is a different activity than a supportive conversation, even a phenomenal conversation. And what I'm not going to do is downplay the intricacies of all that I do, because the interplay of all these roles that I do daily is exactly what makes me good at what I do. Being a licensed psychologist makes me a better professor. Being a professor makes me a sharper clinician. Being a health educator who actually trains licensed mental health professionals in liberation-based methodologies of treatment makes me a more rigorous scientist. Being a published researcher makes me more grounded as a content creator. Being the creator of curriculums and programs that are built solely for the Black community makes me more attuned in every single room I walk into. Every single role feeds into the others. And I do this work every single day. not just when the cameras are on, and no one can deny that, whether they like me or not. I also want to address this conversation of elitism directly because it keeps coming up. There is nothing wrong with pursuing degrees and licensure. I have never, and I will never say that school is the only path to intellect, because it is not. But I'm not going to act like I know less about a topic than I do. That there is no role where that's humility. That's just dishonesty. Elitism is using credentials to dismiss, exclude, or talk down to people. Being educated is not that. And honestly, I think that this is something for the Black community to celebrate. I would think that you would celebrate that I have always used and will always use my knowledge to advocate for us, build programs for us, protect spaces for us. Both of these things can be true. Licensure is meaningful, and it doesn't make someone culturally safe or responsive by default. The goal was never to elevate one path and dismiss another. It's to make sure people have the full picture so they have the choice to make from knowing all the information. And I also want to state, I want to thank everyone for advocating for me within these past couple of days. It is not lost upon me, all of the helpful messages and text messages and conversations dedicated to individuals who understood what I was trying to say and the information that I was trying to provide. And I will never take that lightly. The community that I have built, I will never take lightly, because I will say, I do think more people have this conversation now. But when I first started on social media, I was openly told not to say that I'm focusing on individuals of African and Caribbean descent. I was openly told that it was going to shorten not only my lifespan online, but also my ability to grow. So the fact that my community is out there and the fact that I did it my way, I very much come on social media to provide free resources and to cultivate a space for us. Because more people are doing it now. But when I first started on social media saying that you prioritize Black people, nobody was going to watch you. So I want to say thank y'all. I don't want everyone to think it wasn't noticed. I did take a little break from social media because people were talking to me crazy. So when people are doing that, I take a step back, right? I don't live here. I don't have to post. When I don't feel like posting, I don't. And when I don't feel like showing up, I don't. Because this is not my job. I'm a doctor who creates content, but I am not going to act like I did not notice all of the amazing messages out there and people advocating for me. So I do want to say thank you to that and to everyone. Thank y'all. I see y'all. And I very much appreciate the community that I built. If you're here to learn. And if you're not here to learn, do something better with your time.
And this is your average Dr. Cheyenne Bryant supporter, let's just say.
So when this story first came out, I thought that she was some charges were filed against her, that somebody submitted complaints to the board. No, these were just from snippets of information. And the fact that she omitted information, to certain people's liking. In terms of confusing the public, well, let's not pacify the public as much as we would want to, all right? Because, let's try to look at this from a strength-based, not deficit perspective.
You're trying hard.
The public really fools like that to fall for the dupe. And if they are consumer of choices, right? But even if they went to her to get services and they wanted to use their insurance, because let's face it, many people cannot afford $300 a week for appointments. That's how much she charges. So they wanted to use your insurance, she would automatically say, no, can't service you. If they wanted to pay out of pocket, she wouldn't service them as a licensed professional. She would service them as a life coach. Regardless as to whether or not she understands psychological concepts and constructs and all that, that's neither here nor there.
It isn't.
Problem would be.
I think we have enough of that.
One thing we need to do is bring back truth telling and individual thinking. Nobody has a mind of their own anymore. They talk about these systems and how these systems are corrupted and have oppressed us, but yet they shun people for not wanting to be part of the system, for wanting to be sovereign from the system. Number one, in the Black community, we need to stop tearing Black leaders down so easily. We are the only.
Cheyenne Bryant is now a Black leader. Did you all elect Cheyenne Bryant a Black leader? I'm just saying. She is not a Black leader. I think she did have an appointment. She did actually have an appointment at the NAACP, maybe the Long Beach branch of the NAACP, but she was. Really? We got to talk about that too. Some of our black organizations and black leadership, as they used to say back in the day, are the pits.
Community that expects our leaders to be 100% perfect. No mistakes can be made. Understand
Diane is not
that just
my
because
leader.
you can resonate with things that a people does and says does not mean that you have to agree with everything that they do. But that is internal racism and oppression against ourselves that we've been taught. But nobody sees that.
Really?
Everybody just wants to tear the other person down. Maybe you didn't go to school for a long time, but you know a lot of life experience. Maybe you did go to school for a while, but you can't speak to a lot of life experience because you spent your life going to school. Either way, both are relevant to the conversation, but to tear another woman down for days and days and days, we really need to identify where that really stems from, because a lot of it is envy, jealousy, and bitterness for the choices that you made in your life. That is between you and God, nobody else. But to rebuild our communities, we need to be able to speak these truths and be aware of these truths in order for these things to change. I love you so much. Have a wonderful, prosperous day.
I know you've heard many commentaries about Dr. Bryant, and clinicians like myself have spoken out saying that they do not appreciate what was said. It has some biases in it, and it's also unethical. I am licensed in 2 states, have been licensed for over 13 years. So I know the importance of being licensed. And it's more than just about billing insurances, okay? But it's women like her who get a platform, and we got to be honest, sometimes having pretty privilege helps. And now she becomes the spokesperson when it comes to mental health.
The whole profession.
She is more of a coach to me. She's like a Dr. Phil, okay? Not trying to take away her shine, but that's just what it is. But she need to be careful about the things she say, because a licensure is very important. You should want a license.
Get the work, put it up for my seeds. Put it up, no care.
And as you see, these ladies aren't going to let up anytime soon on Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, but I don't know what to tell her. She's just continuing on, and obviously there's a sucker born every minute. So Dr. Cheyenne Bryant will continue on this path. She'll have clients and be invited on podcasts like nothing ever happened, even though she has officially been exposed. It's ridiculous. That's the unfortunate state of affairs in our community right now. Charlatans, and I've noticed this in other countries too. There are some charlatans that will get elevated to the status of being a leader of the community, like that one lady was talking about, when really they're out here causing more damage than you realize. But anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you like this video, watch one of these videos down below. Make sure you hype the video when you get a chance down below. And join the Patreon. Join the Faucette Media Patreon. Over 175 videos over there on Faucette Media Patreon. Anyway, this is Faucette Media.